for us to look to these people for mercy, for us to look to them to be fair. They're iron. They break in pieces and bruise. They rape and take. And then they'll never give back because they have the power. The only way they're going to give up power is when their kingdom is completely annihilated. And that's what Yah is going to do. Nebuchadnezzar was the head of gold, the highest standard of the heathens in terms of a kingdom. They all strive for that, but they're lower forms of it. See? That's why you had before the iron was the brass, the Greeks. Alexander the Greek, another ruthless European. Ruthless. Cold-hearted. After power with a thirst that could not be quenched. That's why he died when he was 32 years old, trying to conquer the earth. 19 years old, he was already subduing nations. Military genius, but ruthless, man. And now the Romans come after that, even more ruthless. We're under that system right now. And because they want their system, see, to be modeled after Nimrod's system, that's why Revelation 17 comes to play. And that's why you have these are the top religions of the earth right now, all are founded in Yafet. Because he wants to rule the earth. Your Far Eastern religions, Chinese, Japanese, Yafet. That's Buddhism, right? Even Yafet has influenced Hinduism. Wait. You talk about Judaism? Judaism, that's working with Rome, straight up. Rome and Islam. Muhammad founded his religion in the 7th century with a woman called Khadijah, whose father was a Catholic. Taught him how to read. That's how he got Islam. It's all based in Yafet. Why? Because it's prophesied. They're the iron. They're going to rule at the end. Okay? They're Gog and Magog. We'll talk about that in a minute. But now, Revelation chapter 17. The great whore. See, everybody wants to be like Nimrod and Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? That's why we get Revelation, and it talks about them as Babylon. That's where we are. And the system that's modeled after Babylon. Revelation chapter 17. From verse 1 to 5. Revelation 17, 1 to 5. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet-colored, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of abominations, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Babylon. Starts on the spiritual side, though. See, what most people can't understand, even though you see all corporations, businesses, politics, that's all under Babylon, like Nimrod's was. But this is different because now it starts with the spiritual side. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, Asatan wants a government that worships him. It comes down to it. He wants a government that worships him. And guess what? He wants a world government that worships him. And guess what? He has it. He has it. But he needs to solidify it. See, he's greedy. Because in Yah's kingdom, all the inhabitants of the kingdom are going to worship Yah in righteousness and truth. So therefore, Asatan, being that he wants to be like the Most High, he needs all the inhabitants of the earth to worship him. He doesn't care what you call yourself. Catholic, SDA, Baptist, Pentecost, Mormon. He don't care what you call yourself. You are all worshiping him. That's all that matters to him. You're all operating and dependent on his system. That's all that matters to him. And now you're his. Okay? But he has one people that had given him a problem, and is going to continue to give him a problem. Why? Because the Most High has said, I am redeeming Jacob. Remember? In Yahweh shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. Asatan hates this because he is the Most High, that is redeeming his chosen scattered nation through the black Hebrew Messiah, the line of the tribe of Judah. He's bringing that whole nation into awakening, into his government, which is the government of heaven, which is ruled by the covenant that he made with Israel. Okay, let's look at that for a second. Psalms 105. Psalm 105. Psalms 105. Notice what it says. Psalm 105, beginning at verse 6. Psalm 105, beginning at verse 6 and going down to verse 10. Psalm 105, verse number 6 through verse number 10. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, that is Israel, the seed of Abraham. And ye children of Jacob, just to make sure, if y'all thought it was one of other Abraham's children, he said, no, not only the seed of Abraham, the children of Jacob, his chosen. He chose Jacob and Jacob's children with him. Okay. He is Yahweh our Most High. His judgments are in all the earth. He hath remembered his covenant forever. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which he made with Abraham in his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. So he has a chosen people who are going to be part of making up his world government that he's going to establish on this earth. There can only be one government that rules the earth. Asatan is determined that it's going to be the beast of Rome, and that he's going to use the United States of America as the strong arm, as the muscle that brings that to pass. Okay, and that's going to be one government, and so that now you have a problem between the United States of America and its controllers in Rome, its handlers in Rome, and Yah's chosen people, and those that are faithful to his covenant. Now, on paper, it wouldn't look good for Yah's chosen people. We don't have enough guns or weapons. We don't have buildings, land, big stacks of gold and vaults and such. And we're not going to. All we have is Yah's spirit. That's all we need. And that's the point. See? Yah wants Asatan to realize and understand. And he wants all Asatan's followers and all these churches to understand. With just his spirit and the promise to Abraham's children, he's going to take over this earth. That's all he needs. And I know the heathen are going to laugh. You don't got no guns, no tanks, no heat-seeking devices. What you going? They laughing even now. It's all good, though. All good. Pharaoh laughed when Moses first approached him, but the day they was leaving, I bet you he wasn't laughing then. He wasn't laughing then. The scribes and Pharisees were laughing when they heard Messiah raise somebody from the dead, till they were sitting out there and they witnessed Lazarus come back after 4 days in the grave. They wasn't laughing anymore. People were laughing in Noah's day when he said there's going to be a flood, till he went inside the ark for 7 days. They were laughing, having a good time, till the flood waters came and destroyed them all. They weren't laughing anymore. So now I tell you, Yah's chosen people, the poor, scattered, oppressed Israelites, the Negro, the so-called Negro, as we are now awakening into this truth and we come into the knowledge of the Most High, our God, and we take his covenant in our hearts, and we allegiance is to him alone and through the Messiah alone. No, we don't need no guns. No, we don't need your central banks. Nope. We just need Yah. He's more than enough. Him with us is the majority. See? And we coming. Asatan knows this. See? These people might be laughing, But he knows exactly what's going on because he's seen that power before. He's witnessed it. He witnessed it. He was there when Noah was in the ark. He was there. He know what it's about. He was there when he called our people out of Egypt and marched them to the desert and took over Canaan. He saw it. He's seen that power. He was there the day that Messiah was baptized. He was there the day he was born. And he knows what's coming. But we praise the Creator. There's nothing him or any of his nation could do about it. Nothing they could do about it. Y'all, this is the power of our God. He can tell you in advance what's coming, and you can't stop it. That's the difference between our God and everybody else. He'll tell you, this is what I'm going to do. And then you go ahead and do it. And there's nothing you could do about it. That's why, brothers and sisters, it's not about if we're going to win. No. We're going to win. But the problem is, are we going to choose to remain with the Creator? See, the temptation is to leave the Creator. Even our fathers showed this temptation in their dealings with Moab and Balaam. Remember, with Moab and Balaam, Balaam was sent by Balak to go to the top of the mountains and curse Israel, and he couldn't curse Israel. Why? Because the righteousness of Yah covered the camp, covered the whole nation, and there was no curse that Asatan could put on them. Nothing he could do. And Moab was one of the first nations he won't go through, and they were scared they won't get hurt. So he was like, please curse them so they don't hurt us. But there was nothing that he could do. But what did he do? He got them, that is the Israelite people. First, he enticed them with women from Moab that worshipped Nebo and Baal. Beautiful women that got them to sin in fornicating with these women that worshipped other gods. You see, brothers and sisters, there's a lot of people that's a little ignorant in this. They think because a woman is white, that's the problem. Her whiteness of a European skin is not the problem. Just like the blackness of our skin is not the victory. It's the gods they worship. See, the Caucasian woman that's brought up in this American Eurocentric culture is entitled. That's her problem. And it's hard for her to shake that. She's been given it for centuries. It's hard for her to shake that. Okay? It's hard for her to understand where we come from, centuries of oppression. Hard for her to understand that her people hate us and they want to kill us at every turn. They don't understand that. But we do. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. So with a black man dealing with a Caucasian woman, it's not because of her color. It's her culture. It's her gods. It's how she was raised. See, the Moabite women were black women. They weren't Caucasian that came over into the Israelite nation. These were children of Lot. The cousin, the nephew of Abraham. These black women. And they came over there, and it was their gods that caused the problem. Our fathers were fornicating with them, and the fornication was because they were having sex with women that worshipped a different God. They were unequally yoked, and they brought that idol worship into the camp. And that caused the blessing to back up off of them and caused 23,000 of them to die. See? And that's all Asatan can do today. He can entice us with our weaknesses and cause us to choose his kingdom. That's what he does. He can entice us with our weaknesses and cause us to choose his kingdom, therefore lose the blessing of perfect righteousness from the Most High. Other than that, there's nothing he could do because Yah is not passing over them. He's coming through. And when he comes through, they're going to have a problem. Okay? That's why we as Israelites must get it in our head. Forget this money. Forget this world. Forget the power of these entertainers. Don't get blown away by what you see in these entertainers and tripping about so-called stars. Your Savior is way above that. And his spirit cannot be compared. They can't compare. He's waiting for us to wake up. And brothers and sisters, modern Babylon is going to lose. The only question is, are we going to be with the winners or not? Anybody can say, yes, I am. We need a commitment. Y'all needs a commitment of obedience to him as the only true God. That's what this mark of the beast situation is about. It's Babylon enforcing its power on a worldwide basis in this one world government, which we already have, one world financial system, which we already have. one world religious system, which we already have, versus the government of Yah, a government of righteousness that's yet to come, but is established first in the hearts and minds of his chosen people. Now let's go. Isaiah chapter 46. Isaiah. Oh, I meant to tell you, I was going to show you something before we went there. Let's start first. Genesis, let's take a stop real quick. Genesis chapter 10. I want to show y'all something. Genesis chapter 10. I'm trying to show you, heathen, who you really are. I mean, we know who we are. We just see the Abraham. But who are you? We need y'all to understand this, because when you understand who you really are, then you understand why you need to come with us to our God, not to white Jesus. When you understand who you really are. All right? Watch. Genesis chapter 10, verses 1 through 5. Ready? Now, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, Madai and Yavan, Tubal and Meshach and Tiras. These are the sons of Japheth. Now, if you look up all of these things, you'll find out their origins, like Yavan is Greece. Madai is where you get mead from, that's up Russians, right? Magog, that's European. All of these are European and Celtic and all of that. That's where they come from. That's where y'all come from. These are your people. But I want you to notice that Gog in there, and there's not Gog, there's Magog in there. Magog as in Gog and Magog. Think about that. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, that's where these fake Jews come from. Jewish, Ashkenaz, that's where they from. Caucasians, Repha and Togarmah. All that is Europe. And the sons of Yaphan, Alishah, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dudanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, and their families in their nations. These are your original Gentiles. Your original Gentiles. Okay, this is where you come from. This is where you are. Now, you see Magog in there, right? You see Ashkenaz, you see Tubal. Remember those names. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 38. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. I want to tell y'all who you are in this day and age. And I want to show you what's going on. See, I had some fool come about, you guys blaming everything on the white man. How's that working out for you? Yeah, we want to see how it works out for me, fool. Watch this. Ezekiel chapter 38. I'll read from verse 1 down to verse 4. Right? Ezekiel 38, 1 to 4. I'll actually read to verse 7. Why not? Notice what it says. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog. Again, these are your Europeans. And he's commanding, that is Yah's commanding his prophet, set your face against them. The land of Magog, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So Gog is the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, the sons of Japheth. And say, thus saith Yahweh the Most High, behold, I am against thee, O Gog. I'm against you Europeans. And the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army and horsemen, all of them all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia and Ethiopia and Libya is with them. So in other words, you got sellouts that are with them. Always gonna have sellouts. Always. Judas was a sellout. Hasatan himself is the original sellout. You're always going to have sellouts. All the way to the end. See, that's why you got people from that. It's not saying all of the people from these countries are with them, but some of them are with them. Because these countries also have people that are saved as well. Okay? All of them, shields and helmets. Gomer, there's another Japheth. And all his bands in the house of Togarmah of the north quarters. And all his bands and many people with him. So this is led by the Caucasians. This movement against the Most High is led by the Caucasians at the end. Chapter 39. Ezekiel 39, beginning at verse 1, and read verse 1, 2, and 3. Actually, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Watch. I'm going to show y'all who you are. The Bible is showing you who you are. Accept who you are. Hey, listen. We were cursed.